It follows that money creation is not a simple task to do. Only a small number of people are wealthy, whereas the rest of them. Whilst this may sound gloomy, there are techniques to learn how to gain more money for yourself and succeed financially, which is why? Because I'll show you the ultimate wealth equation in this video. Can use to increase their wealth. Therefore, if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button, changing goods or services for. If you make more money from investing, providing services, or both, you typically have more chances to invest and save money, and as you are likely aware, it is feasible to multiple sources of income. In reality, the majority of millionaires don't rely on just one sources of income, and I'll outline each one in this video. Streams that comprise the wealth pyramid, along with each one's benefits and drawbacks, starting with career income, which is the initial source of money. That in this video, we'll discuss career income, which most individuals rely on for their daily lives. Make money, typically in the form of a salary, which is a set sum of money. There are various career paths and compensation that an employer may give to an employee. Things you can pursue a profession in, such as being an athlete or teaching. You can work as a doctor or a nurse in the medical industry. Can pursue a profession as a paralegal or lawyer in the legal sector. Since there are countless work opportunities available today, earning in this type of income depends on a number of things, including the amount of talents and education. The level of education necessary for a job can influence how much you get paid. Generally speaking, medical doctors make more money than writers do. The number of years that a person has worked influences their level of experience. Therefore, a person with more experience would typically receive a higher salary, greater compensation than a rookie. The company you are working with can also predict how much money you'll make in your career. You might make more money. If you work for a high-tech company in Silicon Valley, you can earn more money. Some people look down on a similar startup in a developing nation. There are many advantages to working a 9-to-5 job instead of. It's considerably simpler to find employment when earning an income in this manner to begin with than if you were to create a firm and began to generate a profit. In addition to the fact that if you work, your income is typically predictable on a fixed income, so that each month employees are aware of their pay. When working with a client who has high expectations for their employers, this feature is quite useful. Budget. It's simple to organize your money and figure out how much you need. When you frequently use this financial instrument, you'll save and invest each month. Last but not least, if you stay at a job long enough, you will usually develop some kind of having a pension to rely on, and retirement will help you pay for your golden years. Pay is another advantage of working in a job because there are typically set hours unless you work in a profession that requires you to be working more than the customary 40 hours per week. And this form a decent level of work-life balance, but with all the expenses that come with it. Despite these advantages, earning a career income has certain drawbacks. The first drawback is that you must adhere to your instructor's instructions. Superiors, which can be simpler for some people to perform than others, and the degree of the amount of money you can make also depends on how much your company is ready to pay you, and rises normally don't go much higher than average. Increasing living expenses are yet another drawback of career income. Some industries can limit the development by providing limited development scope. A worker, there are frequently fewer options for career advancement, as some of the fact that employees can only advance inside a particular industry. We face an issue with job security since we live in a very competitive environment. Readily replace anyone, which implies that there are no jobs worth 100% safe. The second source of income that contributes to the wealth transfer is investment income. All funds obtained from various sources that are stocks, real estate, or any other type of asset are often considered investments, derived in the form of dividends, earnings, capital gains, and interest payments. Here are some details regarding each one. Interest is the revenue generated by the interest rate on money invested for a specific time period. Is typically specified if the interest rate is 5% per year before you invest, and you have made a total investment of $1,000. Your interest will accrue after an amount that a corporation pays to its shareholders as a dividend each year will be $50. Supposing a firm agrees to pay 50% of earned revenues to shareholders percent of its earnings as the dividend, with earnings of $4 per share. The corporation would provide $2 as a dividend to each shareholder. Per share, the total dividend you will receive if you own 500 shares of that corporation, 500 multiplied by $2, or $1,000 in capital, would be the get. Gains are the funds earned from an asset's rising value over time. You can generate investment income in the form of capital gains from disposition of any asset that has the potential to appreciate in value over time. Examples include, here is an example of capital gains from real estate or stock in a firm. If, as an investor, you did really buy $1,000 worth of shares at $5 per share, you'd have 200 shares altogether if you assume that after a few months, The share price rises to $8 a share, and you decide to sell. You would have received a total of $16 if you had sold all of your shares. It is evident that there is a disparity of $600. Difference the sum you received when you sold your shares and the sum you paid for them. The $600 is what is referred to be your capital gain from selling them at. There are advantages and cons to any source of income, including producing investment income. As I always do, I'll start with the advantages. Is that earning an income through investments is an excellent strategy to accumulate wealth. Generally not a source of active revenue, and therefore you don't have to exchange your time for cash, plus interest, dividends, and capital gains. Can be reinvested to increase earnings over time, which is another advantage of investing. The tax treatment of income differs from that of job income, as we saw, with only a percentage of your compensation is taxed on capital gains, as opposed to, unfortunately, employment income tax is deducted from your gross earnings. There are some drawbacks to using this strategy for investing, namely the same way you might lose a lot of money investing, your income is susceptible to market dangers. You invest in, you run the risk of losing a lot of money as well. For instance, in the stock market, it's conceivable for the stock you invest into investment returns can fluctuate and sometimes even fail. Simply said, you can make a lot of money one month and then barely any the next. Put another way, the amount of investment income you generate depends on how successfully that month's performance of the investments could provide a significant issue. Especially if it is your sole source of income and you have lost all other sources of money. We'll discuss a side business in this video, as the title suggests. Is supplementary employment that you do outside of your regular 9-to-5 job. A side business is a terrific way to supplement your income and make extra money, which is why the wealthy employ this strategy to increase their income through a side business. It's rising in acceptance as more people learn about its advantages. Nowadays, businesses of today began as side jobs, and when the owners and operated such enterprises began to see that the venture was becoming increasingly profitable. One benefit of a side gig is that some have left their low-paying employment to pursue it full-time. The hustle is that you can establish a side business without quitting your day job. You can create a side business based on your abilities or your passions. It is also a great method to have several revenue streams on your side. If your primary business fails, your hustle may be able to support you. People might not be aware, but you need to learn how to manage failure. Your time carefully before deciding to launch a side business, because the time is now. Consuming, and if you do, you might have to give up a lot of your regular pleasures. Want to succeed? Fortunately, if you're dedicated, the internet has made it simple to begin a side business that you can operate from home. E-commerce, event planning, and photography are typical examples of side jobs. The first advantage of a side business is teaching web design, freelancing, and blogging. The benefit of hustling is that you may combine it with other sources of money. Simply told, a side business aids you in addition to your current ways of income. You don't have to give up your primary source of income to start secondary or tertiary ones. Current employment to establish another perk. Your side business might be situated independent. If your firm is online, you can keep an eye on it from anywhere without having to pay extra to hire a space or take a trip to see a certain area. A side business can also introduce you to a lot of learning and new experiences. Getting started in a new industry may be exciting as well as terrifying. You might have to discover a new industry and meet new individuals while doing so. Additionally, a side business usually enables you to operate from home. Can set up your own working hours and work for however long you want on your side. Hustle. Having a side business helps you pursue your passions, such as baking. You can start a side business by authoring books and publishing them online. Before you get too thrilled about a side business, consider these drawbacks. A side hustle can be draining and frustrating, and you may experience. If you want to be successful, you will need to put in more hours than you do in your current job. This might result in exhaustion and dissatisfaction, so side business is not for everyone. Everyone, in particular, if you lack patience or sales aptitude, exposing oneself to others is risky, as is the case with most endeavors. Failure has the ability to cost you money, time, and energy. In fact, I countless times to make a side business successful, but fortunately, I persisted with it. I quickly replaced my 9-to-5 income with the money I earned after starting out. I knew I would never work for after achieving this degree of success online. However, in order to reach this stage, you must possess the necessary talents. If you have these three sources of income operational this is where the magic happens, since it dramatically raises your using tight money management techniques and a steady salary. Your chances, if you want to attend, please watch, and your chances of becoming wealthy will improve tenfold. Then click the subscribe button to transform from the life you have to the life you deserve. Thanks for watching.